Doing something I haven't done for so long. I'm going into London to meet a friend and I just feel so good. The weather, I wish there was slightly better, but it's so great to be back heading into London. I haven't made this journey for nearly 4 months, and so it's great to be doing it again. I wanted to talk though today, in today's vlog, 2 weeks today, I am going back into Stapleford Granary with the quartet and we're doing another live stream gig for you. So that's Sunday, 12th of July, 7 PM London time. We're going to be back live. And what I wanted to talk about today was the process I go through in order to put together a set list for the band. How do I choose repertoire? What songs make it? What songs don't make it? And I do put quite a lot of thought into it these days. I used to sometimes put a lot of thought in, but at times we've just kind of shown up and played, and there's a lot to be said for that. A lot of freshness can happen. I tend to do that in duo situations rather than in quartet or anything bigger. Sometimes with the trio we can just show up and we'll just play what's in our repertoire. But I'm a big fan of making sure that your repertoire is road tested. And one of the things I miss about pub gigs, you know, I used to do the Haymakers quite a lot. You can watch some of the ones on there. What I loved about the Haymakers is it allowed me to have this great experimentation thing where I could try out new tracks. We could, you know, if I had an arrangement of something that I thought, that might work, I could go and try it out in front of 50 people. And if it didn't work, it only failed in front of 50 people instead of 1,000 people, which is always nicer to fail in front of 50 than 1,000. But the process I go through is, obviously we've got original compositions that I've written and other band members have written over the years. That's always a great source to go for. The beauty of doing your own material when you're playing in a concert hall is that you get the royalties for it as well, which is always nice to top up the income a little bit. The second thing is standards. Obviously there's a huge breadth of standards that we play. Then there's kind of originals by other jazz composers, so there might be songs maybe that Bramford has done. I like to do one by Joey Calderazzo called The Mighty Sword. One of the things I'm always trying to do is to try and get more soprano repertoire, more good sounding soprano songs. So I think we might try that Mighty Sword at the Stapleford gig. And lastly, looking around at maybe pop songs or other sources of information to try and bring in some stuff that's a little bit more left field. So kind of, you know, is there a Beatles song that works? Is there a song from my childhood that I really like that's got a great melody that might work in a jazz situation? These are the sort of things that I'm looking for when I'm trying to build a repertoire for the band. And also as well, I guess the final thing is, which musicians do I have on this gig? Because that can very much determine what I can play. If I'm playing with like my normal group with Derek and Joel, and we've played together for like 8-9 years, I know what we can play together. I know what works, what sounds come out. If I'm bringing in depths, then I've got to be a little bit more careful in what I put together in the program. First time back in London, first time sat in a traffic jam for 3 and a bit months. Probably 4 or 5 months in, it's just crazy. I'd forgotten what it was like driving in traffic again. Oh, it's so frustrating. At least it stopped raining. I've gone back to clarinet reeds and my Selma soloists. Nothing wrong with my Sios. I'm just not getting anywhere near the amount of playing done recently. And on that gig, the last lockdown gig we did here, I really noticed that my soprano was getting quite sharp again, mainly because I'm not playing a lot of it. So the Selma's just a little bit more forgiving. It's a bit more close lay. So nothing wrong with the Sios before you all pile in. I know that some of you are very eagle-eyed when I'm changing gear. Last week I was talking to an old teacher of mine and, well, former colleague as well, played in a few groups. This is a picture, I don't know, I've got to get that back on the wall now, of Frank and I. There's Frank Griffith, there's me. Frank played in New York. In fact, actually I did an interview with Frank here before the days of the vlog. And Frank was telling me he's now living up in Liverpool about this Duke Ellington Society live broadcast. You can see some footage I've brought in here. It's on Wednesdays at 5 p.m. UK time. Log into the DES UK website for more information, but you can go now, and I've placed the link below to some of their previous Periscopes. It looks like they're doing it on Periscope. Some really interesting stuff about Duke Ellington. He gets in guest speakers and stuff like that. So well worth going over there, checking it out. Check out what Frank's doing there. And yeah, along we go. So going back to set lists, what I'm looking for tunes with a good melody. I'm looking for a balance of tunes. So I think we're going to start with that Mighty Sword. You want a track at the start of your CD, gosh, how old does that sound? At the start of your set list. Now, I'm fully aware that in the last live stream, we did Alone Together to start with, and it's maybe not the most catching song, but that song had a theme. It was the name of the theme of the concert. It was, you know, Alone Together. It was what we were all doing. We were still really in the height of lockdown at that point. And so that was the reason we go for it. And that leads me on to something else when I'm choosing content and stuff. I'm going to put me and Frank back on the wall. That was from a Two Tenors gig we did at Cambridge Modern Jazz Club, I think about November 2016, I like to say 15 maybe. Anyway, sometime along that. Grant is a fantastic player, great arranger as well. Going back to the set list. So you want tunes that are going to catch people's ears, that people are going to want to go, oh, I want to stay and listen to this concert, particularly if you're on live stream. The second thing is standards, melodies that people know. You want to play something that's familiar, and often I like to mix it up. So in the last gig, we played A House Is Not a Home, which a really good friend of mine recommended to me. She played it to me. She said, this is great. And I was like, you know what, I think this would sound great on the saxophone. I've since found that Sonny did a cover of it, Candy Dulfer's done a cover of it, and a few other people have done. McCoy Tyner's cover of it is insanely good. And so I was like, right, let's play that. Then after that, we did Footprints, and I said to the guys, I really want to go off the wall here. You know, maybe we played Footprints, but I can't remember which way around it was. But basically my point was, you know, if you're going to go and really off the wall, really go avant-garde, really sort of push the boundaries, I find in the way I organise my sets, I've got to balance it out with what Ray used to call the punter's opium. I wouldn't say House Is Not a Home is punter's opium. I say it's a very, very, very fine melody, but certainly it's more accessible than when we start going off into weird time signatures in footprints. And certainly you've got to try and balance it out, especially if you're doing a pub gig or a live stream gig. You want something that's accessible to most people, but then mix it up a little bit as you go along. My final thing is original compositions, and you don't want to do a whole gig of original compositions. You know, it's the age-old thing, isn't it, with pop stars. You know, you can watch some Glastonbury stuff back now on the UK thing, and record companies and bands want to play their new material because they want to sell the new material. At least back in the day, that's what they wanted to do when it was all about selling albums. You know, so if you're playing all your original stuff all the time, it doesn't always go down too well. People want something they know, something they can hang on to. And interpretation, the beauty of jazz is that you are giving your own version of those particular songs, but give people something to hang on to, something to take home, put in their pocket as they go along. But anyway, that's my take on how I put together a set list. Please make sure you are subscribing. Make sure you click the bell notification as well. That makes a difference because it means that you get notified as soon as I go live for this gig. But I'll put some more information out over the next few weeks. Alone Together, hang on, no, All the Things You Are. I've been talking, it's Sunday, my brain's going. The All the Things You Are project needs to be in on Tuesday. Remember, the email is dansvlog16@gmail.com. All the stuff is on the link below. You need to play it along with the backing track provided so I can sync everybody together, but everyone is welcome to contribute to it. If you can play Prince Albert, please play Prince Albert. What I'd really like you to do is play me ahead of All the Things You Are, a solo, and an out ahead. If you're playing Prince Albert, you could even do All the Things You Are, Prince Albert, same backing track, 2 choruses solo, and I think you've got enough room to put All the Things You Are in at the end. But if you haven't, just do what you can. Send it over to me. I will put it together as a mashup video, and I'm really looking forward to doing it. Thank you very much for watching today's vlog. Don't forget to check out my last vlog here. This is what I was up to this time last year. I will see you really soon. Bye-bye.